right, good morning, everybody. Joe Van Doren here, and welcome to our Virtues Pick for today. And we have a great virtue to focus on today, and that virtue is responsibility. So, as always, let's read the description first, and then we'll talk a little bit about it. Responsibility is the willingness to be accountable for our choices. Others can depend on us to do what we say we will do and to give our best effort. We take on what is ours to do with commitment and reliability. It is important to discern what responsibility belongs to us and what belongs to others. Taking on another's spiritual work deprives us both. When we make mistakes, we have the courage to change for the better. We make amends instead of excuses. We have the ability to respond ably. So, what a great description of this virtue. And as I think about responsibility this morning, obviously the first thing that comes to your mind is, what responsibilities do I have, and in different aspects of my life. So, we all play different roles in our life, right? And they change as our seasons of our life change. When we're a young child, we're someone's son or daughter. We have friends. We have siblings. So we have those different responsibilities there, and roles, I would say. And then as we get older, some of those are the same, and they expand even more. And then maybe we become a parent or an employer or an employee. We get involved in civic service, and we become volunteers, and we have all these different roles. And so for each one of them, there are different responsibilities and things that we're accountable for, that we choose. And I think that's really the thing that we want to remember, is that many of the things that we're responsible for are things that we have chosen to do, and not just thrust upon us because we were born. But there are certain things that are our responsibility, whether that are just thrust on us. And I think the quote that was with this, it's on our website, that I'd like to share with you, is one that helps it as a reminder to us about the responsibilities that we have based on the roles that we play or not play. And that quote comes from a man named Ron Barron, and it says, "My life is an influence on every life mine touches. Whether I realize it or not, I am responsible and accountable for that influence." As I read that quote, I was thinking to myself, what a great way to live life. What if I thought that every action that I took, every word that I spoke, every emotion that I felt had an influence on someone, even if we didn't know it. Now, we know that that's true because we've just read so many examples and seen so many examples of those situations where something that we said that we didn't even realize we had said, or just being in a place at a particular time, had an impact on someone else, whether in a positive or a negative way. We always remember the positive ones. Sometimes we don't always remember the negative ones when it's been us who's had that impact. But it is our responsibility to think about that. So think about that from a family situation. The way I parent, obviously, is going to have an influence on a life on our children, a life that we've touched. The way that we treat others is being watched by our children, so they learn how to do things. That's why I think it's always so funny when a mom or dad, a parent, let's just say, complains about their child doing something, and yet we see the parent doing the exact thing. And it could be gossiping, it could be sarcasm, it could be any number of things. But we don't realize sometimes just how much influence we have, and even in ways that we don't know. So for instance, we don't know the impact that we might have on a person that we pass on the street, that we just simply hold the door open for, or that we smile at when we go by. The stories are that there's situations where people have stopped harming themselves because someone smiled at them or someone said something kind to them. So our influence on every life that our life touches is much greater than we can imagine. And I'm just thinking to myself, wouldn't it be a great way of approaching life and the world as we go out into it? And just thinking about the things that I say, the things that I do, not only for those people that I know that I'm responsible towards and that I'm accountable to, and for the situations that I'm accountable for, but also for all of those situations and lives that we're touching that we don't even realize that we're touching. If we could all live that way, wow, what a better world this would be, I believe anyway. And so we can focus on that today, I think, as we go forth into our jobs and into working with and dealing with our family and friends and whatnot, is just focusing on what we can do to have the best influence that we can on others. Having said all that, we also want to remember that that we need to focus on our part and not on other people's responsibilities, right? And as soon as we start taking on other people's responsibilities or trying to, force them to do something that we think they should, it just doesn't end up well. So we're going to practice responsibility, our responsibility, and we're going to focus on what we can do to be the best influence that we possibly can on everyone that our life touches. How do we teach our children about this? It's the same thing, when our children are young, if we have our first child and we begin to teach him about her about the responsibilities that they have in the home as being a part of a team, right? And then we can start talking about the responsibility of our actions and the way we conduct ourselves and the things that we do and the influence that it has on younger siblings. And then we want to talk about the influence that other people have on us so that we become responsible for our own actions and not be influenced to do things because other people are influencing us. We're always working towards greater excellence in our life and being the best person that we can be. So that's our job as parents, is bringing out the best in our children, right? Not forcing them to be something that they aren't, right? But allowing them to be their best. So I think that's a great act of responsibility. So at any rate, that's my thoughts today. As I go into the world, I'm going to be focusing on what I'm doing to influence others and myself at the very highest level that I am capable of this day. And so until next time, which is tomorrow morning, keep practicing the virtues and the 4 C's of successful families: clarity, communication, consistency, and community. And don't forget to like, share, and even subscribe to our YouTube channel as we try to spread the idea that focusing on virtues helps us to be the best that we can be. All right, thank you, everybody. See you next time. Bye.